Henrique Shi, a paranormal enthusiast from Brazil, has long had a hobby of collecting old dolls believed to be haunted. Instead of feeling afraid, he became even more fascinated by the dolls that looked the creepiest. However, one doll he recently bought from an old antique shop brought an experience far beyond what he ever expected. Because he lives alone, Enrique began to notice something strange. From the room where he kept his doll collection, he started hearing suspicious sounds, soft footsteps, scratching noises, and faint whispers late at night. At first, he chose to ignore them, but one night the sounds grew clearer and more disturbing. Feeling anxious, Enrique quickly grabbed his phone and turned on the camera. What he managed to record was truly shocking and sent chills down the spine of anyone who watched it. Let's take a look. A dark shadow shaped like a human slowly appeared from behind one of the dolls, as if silently watching him. Overcome with fear, Enrique panicked and quickly left his house, choosing to spend the night at a friend's place. When he returned the next morning, the mysterious figure was gone, but the doll remained in exactly the same position as before. Many people believe that what was disturbing Enrique was not just a coincidence, but something truly attached to the doll itself. And now that it has revealed its presence, it may no longer want to stay hidden. This series of creepy videos was shared by Melissa along with her close friend Dar, after they experienced weeks of mysterious events inside Melissa's home. Melissa explained that strange noises began happening almost every day, from doors creaking open on their own, to footsteps that seemed to move from one room to another, to an overwhelming and unsettling feeling that someone else was there with her.
Cocina, pero no hay nadie, solo estoy yo. Estaba aquí sentada viendo la novela y haciendo otras cosas. Y aquí está la Chloe y la Sushi. Y de este lado está el Coco y el Rufo, están ahí, acostados. Y la puerta de la cocina está cerrada. Esa puerta de ahí se acaba de escuchar de nuevo. Pero estoy sola. Vean, la Chloe está como pendiente, porque yo no sé, ella ve fantasmas, pero ella escucha de todo, o sea, suena algo y ella está pendiente. Se acaba de escuchar. No sé si ir, en las películas de terror suena algo y como que... Ay no. En las películas de terror, cuando suena algo, tú dices que no vayan a ver, pero obviamente tienen que ir a ver, porque es su casa, no sé, o sea, ahorita como que le di otro sentido. Aparte está lloviendo, y ahorita se acabó de escuchar algo arriba y la puerta y una niña llorar al lado, pero al lado no vive ninguna niña. Y esto yo sí les he dicho en videos, que siempre en la casa de al lado suena, o sea, se escucha como una niña reírse y llorar, pero al lado no vive una niña. No hay niños al lado. Voy a ver lo de la cocina porque... Bueno, arriba no creo que... No, yo arriba no voy. Solo voy a ver lo de la cocina porque ahorita se escucha como... Voy a ver. Ahorita ya no se escucha nada, pero esta puerta está cerrada. Se está moviendo la puerta. Que no hay nadie, o sea, puede ser un fantasma. Prefiero que sea un fantasma. No hay nada. La Chloe hasta se bajó. Arriba yo no voy porque arriba sí me da miedo. Pero la Chloe está viendo para allá.
On a quiet night while Melissa was home alone, the strange activity became so intense that she decided to turn on her camera. As she recorded, Melissa explained that she heard what sounded like the kitchen door opening on its own, even though no one else was in the house. Her dog, Chloe, suddenly began acting strangely, remaining alert, staring into empty corners, and reacting to sounds that couldn't be seen by the human eye. Moments later, the kitchen door slowly moved by itself without anyone touching it. Melissa later confirmed that there was no wind, all the windows were tightly closed, and there was no logical explanation for what happened.
Piso y tampoco había nadie y se movió la puerta de la cocina y lo peor es que no estaba ninguna ventana abierta, no había de algún lugar donde entre viento, nada. Yo hice como en las películas de terror, o sea, fui a investigar porque estaba sola y es mejor ir a ver, o no sé. Y con esto les quiero contar que ayer me pasó algo porque salí al baño como a las 3 de la mañana y en el pasillo de la casa, les voy a enseñar. En este pasillo que es para salir del cuarto se ve directamente la sala, específicamente como que la ventana, esa parte de ahí. Y ayer que salí al baño, yo regresé a ver para allá porque sí da miedo y entonces yo regreso a ver. No pregunten por qué si me da miedo regreso a ver, solo regresé a ver. Y la cosa es que había una silueta como de un señor parado en la ventana y tengo foto. O sea, esta vez sí no fui a investigar ni nada, estaban todos en mi casa, yo no fui porque literal era la silueta de un señor. Acá el otro día como que empezaron a sonar las cosas, pero acá era la silueta de alguien y no se movía para nada. Bueno, en realidad grabé. Vean ahí como una silueta de algo y si se ve como que una luz afuera es porque el farol no se apaga. Vean, aquí le tomé captura y se ve mejor, es una silueta de alguien ahí parado como que en la ventana. Eso sí no.
In a follow-up video, Melissa shared an even more terrifying experience she went through the night before. Around 3 a.m., she noticed a dark, human-shaped shadow standing completely still near her window, as if it were watching her house. Unlike before, this time Melissa managed to capture a photo. The image clearly shows a faint silhouette with the outline of a man. Shaken by how often these encounters are happening and how intense they have become, Melissa admitted that she no longer feels safe staying in the house alone. Whether this is something supernatural or a much more dangerous threat, one thing is certain: whatever is coming to her home is growing bolder. A man decided to record a series of mysterious events happening inside the house he shares with 2 roommates and his beloved cat. It all began one night when a door suddenly slammed shut right in front of him, even though he was alone in the house. Take a look.
There's pocket sounds in the door. Shit. That was so up. Close the door. There's a ringing again.
Since that incident, the strange events could no longer be brushed aside. Loud banging sounds echoed for no reason, doors shook violently, and clear footsteps could be heard moving from one room to another whenever he was alone. Although his roommates dismissed it as normal noises from an old house, the disturbances only became more frequent and intense. Whatever was inside the house seemed to be growing bolder and making its presence known. This emotionally charged video was shared by Sandra shortly after she lost her mother. Since that time, Sandra has felt that something strange has been happening inside her home. In the footage, she manages to capture a drawer suddenly opening on its own, without anyone touching it. Take a look at the footage.
Like, why? I looked underneath the drawer, I looked behind it, there's nothing making it pop out. It seems like it's when I bring up my mom that something happens. Mom? Your cat's fucking weird.
Sandra carefully checked underneath and behind the drawer to make sure there was nothing that could have caused it to move. What troubled her the most, however, wasn't the drawer itself, but the timing of the event. The phenomenon seemed to happen every time she talked about or thought of her mother. Instead of feeling afraid, Sandra felt a sense of comfort, believing it could be a sign that her mother's spirit is still with her, watching over her during her time of grief. Late at night, a man lay in bed watching TV, the screen casting light across his dark room. For several days, he had felt that something wasn't right. Objects around him seemed to move when he wasn't paying attention. Determined to catch proof, he turned on his phone's camera. As the camera slowly shifted toward his wardrobe, a box sitting on the top shelf suddenly slid forward on its own.
Loco, estaba durmiendo, me acaba de levantar, loco, estoy cagado de las patas. Fuera de joda me puse una alabanza, amigo. Estaba durmiendo y de ahí arriba. Mira, boludo. No lo puedo creer. Necesito, boludo.
A metal can slid off the edge of the shelf, hit the floor, spun briefly, and then stopped in an unnatural, perfectly upright position. The man stood frozen, his breath trembling, as it dawned on him that something unseen was still in the room, silently watching him. This chilling footage was recorded by a security guard during his night shift at an office building long known for its eerie reputation. Employees have reported strange incidents there for years, ranging from lights flickering on their own to unexplained noises and shadowy figures moving through empty hallways. On the night of the recording, the guard decided to turn on his camera after hearing faint whispers coming from near the elevator area, even though the entire building was securely locked.
Lo ideal en estos casos, gente, es no demostrar miedo. Eso es lo mejor, o sea, lo mejor que podemos hacer es no demostrar miedo. Porque si demostramos no tengan miedo. No tengan miedo. No tengan miedo. ¿Quién está ahí?
As he moved closer, the voices suddenly vanished, replaced by an unsettling silence. The building appeared completely empty with no sign of anyone else inside. However, when the footage was played back later, a disturbing detail was revealed. Behind the elevator wall, a dark, mist-like shadow could be seen moving in an unnatural way, almost as if it were reacting to his presence. The officer firmly believes this was not a prank. Whatever he encountered seemed to be tied to the building itself, silently lingering and waiting in the shadows. Alex, a night shift security guard, was patrolling a large, empty building when something strange happened. He had often felt uneasy working there alone, but that night his fear became very real.
Oh, hell no. This is what I'm talking about, dude. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I'm here in this building by myself, bro. By myself.
In the middle of the silent corridor, Alex froze, as two large metal doors in front of him suddenly swung open on their own. There was no wind, no alarm, and no mechanical system that could explain what happened. The doors were far too heavy to move so easily without outside force. Still shaken, Alex quickly grabbed his phone and recorded the scene after the incident. Whatever opened those doors seemed to want to reveal itself, and it was clearly not human. This creepy video was recorded by a security guard working the night shift in a quiet building after midnight. Everything felt normal until he passed the restroom area, when the clear sound of a baby crying suddenly broke the silence. The crying echoed through the empty hallway and grew louder with every step he took closer.
No. No, no. Hola. No mames. Pues escucho un bebé. No mames. Pues güey, se escucha un bebé. No mames. Güey. No mames. ¿Un bebé?
Suspecting that a baby had been left behind, the security guard nervously stepped into the bathroom, checking each stall one by one. But the place was completely empty. No baby, no sign of life, and no logical explanation. The mysterious crying stopped abruptly the moment he entered, leaving behind a silence that felt piercing. Many believed that the sound was not human at all, but the work of a malevolent entity, mimicking a baby's cry to lure its victims. Whatever he experienced that night left a deep impression on him, convincing him that he had encountered something truly supernatural.